Hey everybody, it's Jeremy Bradley here, and it's time for the BuffRadio.com Entertainment Wrap-Up presented by Buff Boy Brewing Company.
JB's Entertainment Wrap-Up.
Brought to you by BuffBoyBrewing.com. For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you'll surely feel naughty when you swallow their coffee. Shop Buff Boy Brewing's premium collections of coffee and tea at BuffBoyBrewing.com. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough buff. Here's what's making news this April 28th. By now, you've heard Melania Trump took to social media to demand Jimmy Kimmel be fired for a joke he made on his late-night talk show last week. In case you missed it, Kimmel was doing a skit about the White House Correspondents' Dinner where he was at the podium giving a funny speech since this year's event would not have a comedian. And clips of various people were shown. Melania was seen there, looking stone-faced as usual, when Kimmel said, "Our First Lady Melania is here. So beautiful, Mrs. Trump. You have a glow like an expectant widow." Well, it took 4 days for her to react, and she went online to protest. Quote, "Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. His monologue about my family isn't comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America. People like Kimmel shouldn't have the opportunity to enter our homes each evening and spread hate. A coward, Kimmel hides behind ABC because he knows the network will keep running cover to protect him. Enough is enough. It is time for ABC to take a stand. How many times will ABC's leadership enable Kimmel's atrocious behavior at the expense of our community?" End quote. The president later chimed in, and remember, he doesn't talk to his wife very much, so we don't even know if he knew about this beforehand, like her press address earlier in the month, distancing herself from Jeffrey Epstein. Anyhow, the president posted, "I appreciate that so many people are incensed by Kimmel's despicable call to violence and normally would not be responsive to anything that he said, but this is something far beyond the pale. Jimmy Kimmel should be immediately fired by Disney and ABC," end quote. We'll get to Kimmel's response in a bit, but first, Celebs reacted to Kimmel's joke and also the Trump reaction. George Clooney said, "Jimmy's a comedian, and I would argue that Caroline Leavitt didn't mean shots should be fired," end quote. Now, let me just give you the background here. On the red carpet before the event, Leavitt told Fox News, quote, "There will be shots fired tonight in the room," end quote, when she was asked about Trump's speech that night. Back to Clooney now. He said of Leavitt, "She was making a joke. Fair enough. You look at that side and go, well, jokes are jokes, but the rhetoric is a little dangerous. When one side is calling another they disagree with traitors to the country, which is a charge that's punishable by death, just because they don't agree with someone, I think that rhetoric is a little too heated." Jane Fonda's free speech activist group, the Committee for the First Amendment, said in a statement, "In America, satire is not a crime. The right to mock, to challenge, and yes, to offend those in power is foundational to democracy. From late-night television to political cartoons, comedy has served as a powerful tool to expose hypocrisy, provoke debate, and drive accountability. This is a test of ABC, of the press, and our collective commitment to the First Amendment. But we have been here before, and we know what is required from all of us. Speak up, push back, do not capitulate, do not be silent." Stephen King tweeted, "Melania Trump says Jimmy Kimmel should be canceled. Last week her husband commented on Robert Mueller's death. Good, I'm glad he's dead. Said pretty much the same about my old friend Rob Reiner. People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw bleep." CNN's Brian Stelter said, "Now we're back to where we were last September with the government, in this case the president's wife, pressuring Disney's ABC to punish Jimmy Kimmel over a comment on his show. Another free speech test is underway." Meghan McCain said, "I am so deeply sick of Jimmy Kimmel and the hate he spreads in the world." All right, well, how did Kimmel react on his show last night? He said, "It was not by any stretch of the definition a call to assassination, and they know that. I've been very vocal for many years speaking out against gun violence in particular, but I understand that the First Lady had a stressful experience over the weekend, and probably every weekend is pretty stressful in that house. I agree that hateful and violent rhetoric is something we should reject. I think a great place to start to dial that back would be to have a conversation with your husband about it," end quote. That's a check of your celebrity headlines for this Tuesday, April 28th. I'm back tomorrow right here on the BuffRadio.com Entertainment Wrap-Up presented by Buff Boy Brewing Company. Till next time, I'm Jeremy Bradley.
For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee.